Right, well, it's 8, so we'll go ahead and go live.
Okay.
All right. Well, good morning and welcome to Brekkie, the guy who sews. It is December 2nd. Can you already believe it's December? Like, it's nuts. Like, I still feel like it's October. But I brought along my very good friend, April Saltel from Quilting with April Saltel. Did I get the channel name right?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
thank
it's
goodness.
so quilt with April Satchel, but yeah, that's it.
Okay, perfect. So, okay, so I could have just read the sign behind you. But yeah, April's with us, I think, earlier this year, but I wanted to bring her back and hang out with her again and just see what she's been up to and just catch up with her again because sometimes this is the only way I get to catch up with my quilty friends because we're all super, super busy. So for anyone that doesn't know April, why don't we just let her take a few moments to introduce herself and tell us a bit about herself and the channel and all the quilty goodness that you would expect once you head over there to check out the channel.
Okay. Thanks, Sean. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my
Good
pleasure.
morning. My name is April Sattel, and I have Sew and Quilt with April Sattel. I have a YouTube channel, and I put out tutorials, videos, shorts. I do a little bit of everything on my channel. I do a lot of quilting. I do a lot of sewing, just kind of mending things, showing you how-tos. I like to do improv quilts, and I use a lot of recyclable fabrics. I use a lot of clothes. I'm very thrifty. I have a lot of fabric too, but I like small projects, and I like to just cut. And I think cutting is kind of one of my things that I like to do a lot. So cutting up all these old clothes and stuff, I'll show you how to do that. So yeah, I put those out, and if you haven't seen my channel, go ahead and check that out.
Absolutely, yeah. And you can put in exclamation point guest, which I have already done, or exclamation point April, and that way you can check her channel. And don't say that you like cutting too loud because you might have like 15 packages on your doorstep next week if you're not careful. Um, which state are you located in? I think we've talked about this before, but I can't remember what day of the week it is sometimes. So
Yeah, so I live right in central Maine. So where
okay.
I live, I'm about an hour in all directions to the coast, so I can get to the coast very quickly. So actually, there's one area I can go in 45 minutes. So yeah, we do a lot of sightseeing around Maine. We're always on some adventure out here. We have four seasons, and we're getting ready for winter right now. So
For
I
sure.
think my husband's putting the plow on today because we're getting a storm coming.
Oh wow, yeah.
So
I've been to Maine once. We went to the Bar Harbor area. I hope I pronounced that right.
yep.
And Acadia National Park, and it was absolutely stunning. Like we only got to spend like 4 or 5 hours there because we were on a cruise ship. But that's definitely one place I want to go back to and visit.
Yeah.
But let's see who is here this morning. It looks like Jeanette Vincent is here all the way from Riddle, Oregon. Like it just amazes me that people get up and are watching at 5 a.m. their time in the morning. Like that's just incredible. Let's see. Beverly Akins is with us. Joyce is here with us. Mary G. Russ from Quilt Meets World is here with us. If you haven't checked out his channel, it's exclamation point Russ. He's doing Vlogmas, which we'll talk a bit more about a little later on in the I was going to say episode, but today's live. We'll talk a bit more about that because there's a lot of my friends doing Vlogmas as well. Donnell Stitchery is here as well, and she has her own channel, exclamation point Donnell, and she's also doing Vlogmas. So we'll touch on that just a little bit. Lisa from Orkle Quilter, Georgia, is here with us as well. Beverly Akins, Melissa Feldhouse, Joyce, as we've already said. Let's see, Joyty is here. Melissa, Pat Strawhouse, she says, "Hey, Sean and April, joining you this morning from snowy Muskoka, Ontario." So yeah, she's been a great supporter of the channel as well. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. And Jacqueline Spears here with us. Donnell's, I think we said that already, haven't I? Yeah, I have had some coffee, I promise. Julie and Wisconsin, Gloria Carlson. It says good morning from King William, Virginia, and we'll talk a bit more about her in a little bit because I actually got to hang out with her and some of her friends earlier this week. Glenda Hyde, Evelyn Blanco, Dragonflies for Donna is here with us. And I think I got everybody. And if I missed someone, I apologize. It's hard to keep up with the chat sometimes, but I do my very best. So what am I planning on doing here today? First of all, I'm going to start off with clue 5 of the Carnival Puzzle Mystery Quilt by Cotton Cuts. And I am doing the Bomb Pop colorway, which is a series of boutiques in the red, white, and blue. And then this is my package of pieces. And I'm only going to do part of this clue because normally what I do with my cut and cuts is I do half of the clue here and then half of the clue on my time lapse. So like they have like two of each block. I can do one now and one later, but this one's a little bit different because they're doing 2 of 5A and only 1 of 5B. So this morning I figure I'm just going to do 1 of 5A so that way I can still show both blocks on my time lapse in the next couple of weeks as well. Dragonfly Donna is asking, is this a new shirt like the logo? I've had this shirt now for about a year. My friend Courtney over at Pieces Love and Quilting made it for me, I think back in September of last year, because I wanted a pink shirt for Breast Awareness Month back last October. And I originally asked her to screen print it for me, but she said, hey, look, I think it's a whole lot better if I embroider it, and she has the machines and all that cool stuff to do it. So she went ahead and made that for me, and I very, very much appreciate her doing that for me. But yeah, I've had it for about a year, and I wear it, from time to time as well. Let's see. My hobby, Kathy from my hobby home is here, and she's going to join me next week. So welcome, Kathy. It's good to see you as well. Sweet Granny, Jeannie E, Pasita, good morning. And I think I caught everybody. I will let you speak in a second. I'm sorry, April. I'm taking over.
Oh,
What are you planning on working on this morning?
so all I'm doing is I'm just going to be cutting out some 6.5-inch squares. I'm going to be working on this behind me. This is just going to be a patchwork quilt, and it's going to be pretty much recyclable fabric. I've got a lot of old clothes, a lot of my grandkids' little shirts. They've all outgrown, so I'm just going to be cutting these all up into some 6.5-inch squares. I've got a whole basket full of just old shirts. And I'm also going to be using yardage, scraps. So it's going to have a variety of everything. And I'm just going to make a pretty good size quilt with this behind me. I want it more in the neutrals. So today, all I'm doing is cutting up my squares and getting them all lined up too. I've got some cut so far, but I want to get them all together so I can put this together.
That sounds awesome. And I always like doing a I think I've done 2 6.5-inch square quilts this year already. The first one was for Simon, who's one of our exchange students, and my other exchange student, Lorenzo, he actually made a 6.5-inch square quilt top quite recently as well. So yeah, it's a fun little project. And I remember, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago now, like time flies. I did a project very similar to yours. I made a t-shirt quilt and then used some of the excess to make another quilt out of the 6.5-inch squares as well. So it's a lot of fun, and that's nice and easy. You not have to really think about it, compared to projects that I like to do, like with a million different pieces. So, but sometimes it's fun to go back and just do something simple, and you can actually knock something out super quick. So, looks like my friend Shannon is here. Good morning to her! Exclamation point Shannon for her, and she's also doing Vlogmas as well. So I keep talking about Vloggers. Let's just go ahead and have a quick chat about that. For anyone that doesn't know, Vlogmas is a daily video that YouTubers and Instagram people and I guess TikTokers and Twitchers and all that other sort of thing do, where they do a daily video every day, or at least some do 24 days up until Christmas and some do the whole month. But they do a daily video each day in December, and it can be whatever they want. Some people do unboxing, some people do like a daily vlog. It just all depends. And there's quite a few of my friends doing that this year. I participated in it in the last 2 years. I decided to take this year off because I want to be a viewer. I want to be able to sit back, relax, and experience from the viewer's standpoint and be able to support all my quilty friends that are doing Vlogmas. So if you are doing Vlogmas, let me know in the chat, because I know Shannon is, Donnell is, Russ is, Stephanie from Stephanie Stitches is doing Vlogmas. And I know I'm missing like 6 or 7 of you. So let me know in the chat if you are, because that way we can kind of support you as well. And then if you have got a live this morning, and Fallon from So Big Quilts is doing it as well. She's doing her unboxings as well. So yeah, definitely let us know so that way we can support you. And if you have a live or a channel, let me know in the chat as well, and we can go ahead and support you as well. Good morning, Janine. It's good to see you. So, okay, I'm going to try and organize myself. This is going to be yeah, a little difficult because I'm not used to not normally I prepare everything ahead of time, and for some reason I decided not to, and now I'm kind of regretting my life choices.
Mhm.
Doo-doo-doo. Okay, so that's that. E. Okay. All right. Good morning, Rob from Quilting in the Man Cave. It's good to see you. And Donna is here. Yep, Teresa. Okay, I think we've got all the cool kids. Okay, so what else was I going to talk about this morning? Okay, so we talked about Vlogmas. Um, like you said earlier, like it's starting to get cold, and when it's cold outside, I know personally I really enjoy a good hot drink, and I think we all have our favorites. What would be your favorite hot drink of choice?
Mine, if you're
Yeah.
asking, I
Yes.
like hot cocoa. I like coffee, but I like hot cocoa. If we're out in the cold,
Yeah.
definitely gonna bring that.
Oh, for
It's
sure. I'm the same way. Like you see me drinking my coffee every morning. But yeah, if we go out and watch the Christmas lights and that sort of thing there, and they have a hot cocoa stand, and I know it's any good, yeah, it's going to be hard pressed for me not to say yes to
same,
that. All
same.
right. All right, so that is excellent. Yeah, and let me know in the chat what's your favorite one. And it looks like a couple of my buddies have already said as well. It looks like Jan from Western Australia is saying coffee. Teresa West is saying coffee or tea. Melissa's coffee, some teas. Shannon is saying mulled apple cider. And yeah, a good apple cider with like the caramel and the whipped cream and that sort of thing there is also hard to say no to as well. Cocoa and apple cider. Janine says she's a coffee drinker, dark roast and black. I drink my coffee black as well. I've never really messed with milk in mine, and I think I've mentioned this before. But if you want a good caffeine kick, you actually need to go for a light roast because as they roast a bean, the caffeine cooks out of it. So you kind of either get the really punch you in the face taste as a dark roast, or if you want the caffeine kick, you need to go a little bit lighter. All right, Russian tea. I've never heard of a Russian tea. Can you explain what that is, Kathy? I could go Google it, but I'm doing a live right now. So if you could explain what that is, I'd love to hear that. So, all right. Okay, half cocoa and half coffee. That sounds good as well. That's almost like it'd almost be like a mocha, you know, except
Yeah,
usually a mocha you have, or a mocha as you call it in Australia, that's usually used with espresso rather than regular coffee, but the same sort of thing. All right. Janice from the Right Way is also here in the house, and she's doing a Vlogmas series as well, I believe. So she does have her own channel there, Joyty, and her channel should be under Janice. I'll show it in the chat real quick for you. I'm almost certain she's in there. I'll be very surprised if I'm perfect. Okay. All right. So I've got the first piece together, and hopefully we can keep our little friend, my very, very bestest friend, in his little home.
yeah,
So I make no promises. See, that's the joy of you doing just the cutting as well, is that you don't have to worry about bringing out our very, very bestest friend because all you're doing is cutting stuff. So
exactly.
there you go. Pat Strawhouse says it's tea for me, any variety, Earl Grey and chai latte. Those are excellent. I remember the last time I went back to Australia, like the chai lattes and that sort of thing here are very popular here in the US. But when I went back there, they had a pumpkin spice latte, a pumpkin spice chai. And normally I'm not a pumpkin spice person. Like I had pumpkin spice coffee a few weeks ago, and it was the nastiest thing I'd ever drunk. And I was like, I don't know how people like this stuff. But when I had the pumpkin spice latte, it was fantastic. Like I absolutely loved it. So all right. So Dragonflies with Donna is saying she's loving your sewing room, April. Looks like many memory items as well as useful ones. Can she do a tour and the description of it on a channel? So that might be something for you to consider. We always love seeing sewing room tours. I did one earlier this year. I love doing it after I put it back together. Like we changed the floors and it was actually neat. So I was like, okay, now's the time to do it. So yeah, that might be a fun thing for you to do. I know Becca's done one. That was fun to see. Her studio is amazing. Like if you ever get a chance to see it, do it as well. So
I saw her YouTube video of it. It's gorgeous. Yeah.
oh, it is. Yeah. no, absolutely stunning. And it was really, really neat to see in person earlier this year as well. All right, so good morning, Ange. It is good to see you. She is asking what I'm making today. I am working on Clue 5 of the Bum Pop, which is the Carnival colorway, Carnival Puzzle Mission Quilt by Cut and Cuts. I'll get it right in a minute. I'm so confused because I'm doing this today, but we've also been launching the next one, which is Tree of Life, which sign up started on that yesterday. If you haven't already jumped in on that, there's quite a few fun colorways that will start next February, but they try and get everything organized ahead of time. So that way it gives them enough time to cut out the pieces and the fabric and everything else. Because if you prepay, you get all 10 clues at once sent to you. So you're not sitting by your mailbox waiting each month. And that's how they do it with me as an ambassador. And I love not having to wait at the mailbox every month for my fabric to show up. I just wait for my email to come in that Friday, and then I can go ahead and get stuck into it as well. So
That's nice. Yeah.
oh, for sure. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I'm just not with it today. I don't know why. Let's see. Okay.
Pat Strawhouse, I know how you feel about you wish you had your dad's some of his clothes to make a memory quilt. So I'll tell you this quick little story. So my aunt lived with us. It was my husband's aunt, and she lived with us, and then she passed away. And I didn't start sewing until after she passed away. I donated all of her clothes to the church, and like a year later, I started sewing. And then I was like, oh, I wish I had all her clothes. So me and my kids all went to that thrift shop at the church and said, we're here to look for our aunt's clothes. And they're like, oh, those will be long gone. And we were thinking, those won't be gone. She was like 4 feet tall. You know, her pants were super short, and that nobody would have probably bought them. So they're like, oh no, those will be long gone. My mother-in-law was like, those will be gone. I'm like, I don't think so. I think I'm going to find them. So me and the kids went in and we went through every little, hanger to see if we could find anything that had belonged to her. But unfortunately, we missed it. And I now, of course, I wish I would have saved all that to make a memory quilt with, but that does happen. So
Yeah, it's so sad. And I think we've had the same thing, like people have passed. Like I would have loved to have had some of my mother's stuff and made something out of it. But same sort of thing. I didn't start sewing until like almost 8 years after she passed away. So yeah, hindsight's 2020, but you don't know these things ahead of time. But yeah, let's talk about what motivated you to start sewing, because I know some people start sewing when they're real small, their mothers or grandmothers or aunts or whatever teach. And then there's some like obviously yourself and me that got the bug or wanted the desire to go ahead and sew later on in life. So what is your story? What kind of sparked the interest for you to sewing?
Yeah. So when I was 17, I think I might have said this before, but when I was 17, my dad bought me a super, super nice sewing machine, hoping I would just get that bug and take off with it. Well, I didn't. But I did know how to sew everything. Like I made curtains, or I would make things here or there, pulling my sewing machine out. But it was, and then I bought a book and tried to learn how to make a quilt. Reading the pattern, it was a disaster. So I made a quilt, a huge, like king size quilt on my own. And then that fell apart. That just wasn't going to work. But I made stuff all through the years. I was always super crafty. I loved always doing something, whether I was taking fabric and making snowmen, with stuff in it. And I always made my friends Christmas decorations for Christmas. And I don't know if I told you this story, but I'll just tell you, it's so funny when I think about it. So maybe I did tell this story. It's okay. Repeat. Sorry, guys, for those who didn't hear it. So one friend, I made all these friend pillows, and they said friend. And I'm a young mom, and we're all young moms. And so I make it, it says friend, and they're like, she didn't make that. No way. She bought those. She bought those. And then they start laughing because I spelled friend wrong on one of them, on one of
Oops.
the pillows. So they're like, they burst out laughing and they're like, yeah, she did make it because I spelled the wrong friend, spelled it wrong. So
Yeah.
that was pretty. Anyway, long story short, so I get into sewing and I started crocheting once the kids, they were all, the youngest kids were seniors in high school, and I started crocheting, and I did that through their high school a little bit. Then they graduated high school. I'm trying to think where the time frame was, but then anyways, my youngest kids, we had big gaps with our kids, 13 years difference from the youngest to the oldest, and we have 4 children. So so then I start sewing from crocheting, and honestly, it was like, oh my goodness, I can't put it down. So it took right off, and it was all quilts. And I was making one quilt after another, and they were terrible, mind you. They were, they were not, they were so beautiful to me. So that's what mattered. But so yeah, it was, and then now I just love it, and I just could do it all day. And that's how I was when I started. Once I started sewing, I started a bigger sewing machine, of this, working my way up, changing rooms in the house. And, that constant, I think a lot of people that sew change, like this might look like this today, but
Yeah.
maybe tomorrow I'm in a whole nother room or another part of my house. I think we change things a lot. I don't understand why, but I guess maybe outgrow it and need bigger spaces. So I've moved myself around a few different times throughout the house. And but yeah, I'm hooked and I love it. And then I could sew all day long if I could. I can't, but I would love but I would love to. And so
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But yeah, it was later with the quilt part of it. I always made my curtains and things like that, just for fun.
You enjoy making curtains?
Yeah, I'm a very basic sewer. That's the thing I can't do. I don't like long projects. I'm just so quick I need to do it and see a result. So I really am simple. Like I keep it very, very simple. When I get long drawn out projects, I just get overwhelmed. So my curtains are basically get the fabric, iron hem. So
I think that's great. I can make curtains, but I don't enjoy it. So I try and avoid it like the plague. But I'm glad someone out there likes making curtains. So that's really, really good.
Yeah.
Let's see, what have I missed here in the chat? I probably missed a bunch because that's just how I am. Okay, so Pat's talking to Shannon, so I think they got themselves organized. Melissa says she actually likes waiting each month for the clues. It's like Christmas to you. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, absolutely do it the way you want to do it. I just like to me, it's more convenient. Yeah, just to have everything here at once and then not have to worry about it. But yeah, it's also fun, like getting happy mail each month as well. So I can definitely see both sides of it there. I think I've explained this story more than 100 times, but let's do it 101. I didn't start sewing until actually 10 years ago this month. I saw the quilt at the Virginia State Fair that year, and I thought that'd be a lot of fun. Let me give this a try. And yeah, it's just kind of gone from there. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it, as you can probably tell.
Yes, you do great. I love your channel. I love your lives. I jump on every time I can. Sometimes I'm on the road or somewhere, and I can just at least hear you.
Yeah,
I love it.
Well, good. And I really enjoy doing this. Like I really enjoy hopping on and hanging out with a quilty friend because I really like having different guests on each week. and having someone to sit there and talk to, because I love interacting with everybody in the chat, but it's hard. And I think if anyone that's tried doing a live by themselves, it's hard to do it by yourself, at least for me. And maybe that's just me because I'm super shy and super introverted. But it's much, I think it's a lot more fun with a guest as well. And I just appreciate each and every person that's, accepted my invitation to come on and hang out with me. So thank you. Good morning, Donna. It's good to see you. She says she's dropping in for a fast link drop of road tripping. Yes. It's always good to see her. And she has been working on and heading up the 12 Days of Quiltmas. And if you haven't checked that out, you definitely need to go check that out, because it's over between the 1st and the 12th. You will see 12 different content creators come on. They'll showcase a quilt that they've made, and you can actually win all of those, well, one of the 12 of the quilts. So definitely head over and check that out and do that as well. Jan says, as long as I wake up, Sean. Yes. I set two. I will tell you the truth. I set 2 alarms this morning, one for 6:20, one for 6:40, in case I turned off the first one. I did get up at 6:15 this morning, so that way I would not be late. So, I was so embarrassed. I was so mad at myself last week because I'm never late. I'm never late for anything. I'm always annoyingly early. So, for me to miss something like that, it wasn't fun. But you live and learn. We're human. We make mistakes. We oversleep sometimes. So it'll be fine. So there you go.
That's right.
All right. So this is a good question from Shannon. She says, do you use regular quilting cotton to make curtains, or is there another fabric out there that's better?
I do. And you know what else I do sometimes? I've found curtains and then I didn't like them. Like I might find a pair at a yard sale or something.
Yeah.
And I alter them. I could make valances out of them. I used to have an office in town, and what I did was this worked so great. I had gone to a yard sale, found these curtains. They were long drapes or something like that. And I just chopped off in all the angles. And before you know it, I had like these beautiful valances in every window. And so I'll use whatever I have. But yes, the curtains that I've made from scratch, like, with not cutting into any recyclables. Yes, I've just used cotton. That always works the best for me. They're usually just small and lightweight. My heavy curtains I have in some rooms because I want them really heavy and dark and quiet. I want the room very, very quiet. So those I bought. Those are drapes and they are heavy. So I didn't sew those ones. So, but yeah, like in the kids' rooms and stuff, I always use quilt and cotton.
Yeah, and I think as much as I said earlier, I hate making curtains, which is definitely true, but I've made several as well. I've made some from Amanda's classrooms and that sort of thing there, and I've used quilting cotton for those. For the room darkening ones, I've used quilting cotton once or twice, but I've also used more durable material. And then I also put that you can buy it at Joann's or just about anywhere really. It's the like the room darkening. It's like a white, like plasticky type thing, and that stuff works fantastically. And it's like, well, the last time I looked, and it's been several years, so it's probably twice the price now, but it's only like $5 or $6 a yard. So I mean, you can make, but they really do make the room dark. We use it in our bedroom because we get all the morning light. And if you want to sleep in, you don't have room darkening curtains. It's going to be bright, 20 minutes after sunrise. So
yeah, so
there you go.
If all my grandkids, they could think it if it's nap time, they could go in one of the rooms and they could think that it's nighttime because it's like. If you have to pull the curtain, if there's like one little dot of light showing, you just pull the curtain and make it super dark. So
yeah,
I like those. Yeah, I like the room.
Sure. Yeah, and it sews together pretty easily. Even though both materials were thick, it went together. I think I made it on this machine here. And this is just a cheap $80 Amazon find. So I can look. If you need to know what it is, I can probably pull up what it is. I had to go do some research. I cannot remember off the top of my head. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea, Donna. She says that we both need to do a tutorial on room darkening curtains and back tab once. Yeah, okay, that's an idea for us. It'd be good for both of us to do it.
Yeah.
You know, because I've mentioned in the past, like how I teach will speak to someone better than you and vice versa. Like, you know, when I go look for tutorials, I look for several of them, you know, and I say go wherever teaches you the best for that particular project. Donnell was saying that she almost texted me this morning to make sure I was up. I would have been fine with that. That would have been, I actually would have got a good chuckle out of that. You should have done that. Joyce was laughing at that as well. So yeah, I probably won't oversleep again for the next 3 or 4 years. It's something I do once. And then there you go. Janine says that's a great idea, Pat. Bet the denim would be really cute for curtains. That would be great. The only concern I would have about using denim is you better have some really good anchors and stuff for the, what are those things? What goes into the wall that holds the whole thing up. Because that would get
the rod.
Yeah, the rod, and then the things that actually hang up to the wall that they sit in. The brackets. I'll get my words out eventually. Yeah, I think denim would look great. Absolutely. Denim curtains would look fantastic. It would look unique. It'd be fun. But yeah, just make sure you have some really good brackets and really good anchors into the wall, because otherwise you got to come home one day and it's going to be all on the floor if you're not careful. So I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm just saying, you know, make sure that that is organized before you get too far down the road and have some unhappy walls. All right. We call them blackout curtains. I've never made any, as I can never get them straight. Yeah, it takes a bit of practice. I mean, I think if you're going to make curtains, I'd probably recommend starting with maybe like some Valance curtains, like those ones you put in the kitchen that are like 18 inches tall. Start with something easy, and that way you kind of get the mechanics of it. And then once you get the mechanics of the curtains together, you can pretty much do whatever you want. I mean, it's just, you need that, you know, those baby steps first just to get yourself, you know, it's kind of like doing quilt blocks and everything else. You know, once you get yourself organized, you can do anything.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So Donna has put in all the playlists and everything else for the Quiltmas collab that they're doing. So thank you so much for doing that for me, because that makes my job a whole lot easier. And yeah, definitely go check it out, because there's some beautiful quilts. The first one was shown last night. I think it was Teresa Louise did that. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but that's on today's list. But yeah, definitely do that, because you may win. Is that Donna, question for you? Is the entries open to the US only, or are certain people open to international? That'd be a good question. I'm very good to know. Okay, Fallon apparently is here with us. Good morning, Fallon. On blackout, I would message you something like wakey eggs and bacon. So now everyone's going to joke me about this, and I'm perfectly cool with that. Okay, so I've done some progress. We've made this and this. So yeah, we're making progress eventually. I am not doing this again. Normally I pull out my pieces, I lay them all out, I do it in order, and yeah, this is not working for me. But that's okay. You know, you live and learn. All right, so while we're talking about events, we've got Quiltmas going on, we have Vlogmas going on. Tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern, I will be joining my friends Shannon, Stephanie, and Stephen for the 4S collab, and we're going to show an update on our quilts that we've been doing. We all put out 3 different choices for which quilt the viewers wanted us to make. We let them vote, and whichever one came out on top was the one that we all made. So, but we all chose, yeah, we all had different quilts. So I've been working on the Fab Farm, and as a little sneak peek, I want to show you that I finished the last 2 blocks, which were the sunflowers. So this is the little sunflower, and this is the bigger one. Same design, just the bigger one has like the extra little bit. So this will now go together tonight. I've been working pretty hard to try. My goal has always been to finish all the blocks, so that way when we come together tonight, I can actually assemble the quilt top. So in theory, if I don't get too distracted, I'll be actually able to show you the entire quilt top tonight. So that's the chicken that we did recently, and the horse, and the little strawberry. If anyone hasn't seen the goat, and let's see, a cow.
So cute.
I know this has been such a fun project, and the sheep, and the bee, and then the pig. So there we go.
Looks great.
Yeah. So we'll put that together tonight. So definitely come over and hang out with us tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern. That'll be over on Stephanie's channel, not here. So if you come over here at 5 o'clock looking for us, you won't find me. But go over and check that out as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to putting this together. And then that way I can go ahead and start quilting it, because I want to give it to a co-worker of mine who is expecting her second child in February. She has no clue it's coming. She won't be expecting it. So it's going to be even more fun. Jeannie E says the background you use for the farm quilt is perfect. I absolutely love that background. I was very unsure about it when I started, because I wanted to use everything from stash. I have not gone to the store for a single stitch of thread for this. And that's what I had for that. And it's just been a lot of fun. Okay, Joyty, I'm going to go ahead and put April's link in there for you. She was asking for your channel link. I'll just go ahead and put that in for you. She's Joyce says the pig is so cute. I absolutely agree. It's just been a lot of fun. Shannon, from what I understand, has finished her quilt top, and she'll be assembling it tonight as well. And I think Stephanie has. And I haven't had a chance to talk to Stephen yet as to his progress. But yeah, come over and check it out tonight, and you'll be able to see our progress on for the four of us as well. So,
well, that sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good to hang out with them and see what they got up to. All right, now what am I doing here? I am so easily distracted. It's not funny. Okay, so we got this. We got this, right? Oh, we might be finishing this block in a minute.
Nice.
How about that? Yeah. Okay, so that goes there. Okay, let's see. Love the blocks. Can't wait to see it come together. We'll try and catch you later. Okay, excellent. It'll be late for you. It'll be 10 p.m. UK time for Ange, but yeah, we'd love to have you. I don't know how long the live's going to be. Shannon, do you have any idea how long it's going to be? Because I was going to ask Stephanie that question today, but I haven't had a chance to ask yet. I've been distracted. Okay, let's see. All right. One of these days I'll come more. Okay, so while we're talking about that sort of thing there, I wanted to say a special thank you to my friends at the Wannabe Quilt Guild, which is a small guild up in the King William, King and Queen County area of Virginia. They invited me to come hang out with them this Wednesday at one of their retreats. And it was a lot of fun. I went up there and hung out with the ladies. Gloria's here in the chat, I believe. She was here earlier. I'm assuming she's still here with us. And it was just a lot of fun. We I didn't take any footage really up there because I was too busy hanging out and chatting with the ladies. But I actually did get the sunflowers pieced up there on Wednesday. So it was a big thank you for them that I was actually able to get this done, because I wasn't sure how I was going to get everything done in time for this Saturday as well. Joyce is asking, is it 5 p.m.? Yes, it's going to be 5 p.m. Eastern tonight or this afternoon. Well, it's dark at 5, so we'll say tonight, over at Quilting of Stephanie Stitches channel. I think it should be on the Steph. Let's just. I think that should work. Yes, okay. I just put the channel link in there for you, Joyty, for Stephanie, so that way you can go head over there tonight as well. And we'd love to have everybody over there and hang out and just see the progress on all 4 quilts, because Shannon's working on a FPP. It's like an Art Deco type quilt. Stephanie is doing, it was either an Art Easter or Elizabeth Hartman pattern. I forget. I think she's doing 2. And I forget which one was picked for that thing. And I think Stephen's doing a cat inspired one as well. So, all right. So, Donnell says the horse and the bee are my favorite. I love horses, and I have to love the bee block since I'm a bee kid. I love that bee block. It was a lot of fun to make. I mean, it was just a really fun project. And yeah, there's a lot of pieces and a lot of cutting and that sort of thing there. But if you ROK cutting and you don't mind doing a stitch and flip, you can attack each block as a separate entity, and it doesn't really take as long as you first think. I just tried to do one block a week, and that worked out really, really nicely for me. So yeah, I definitely recommend that pattern. All right, let's see. What am I doing here? I'm going to put this together first. Hang on. I'm so disorganized. I shouldn't have done this. Okay, Teresa says she wish she could go, but I have a Christmas party to go to. There's always other puffins. That's what she's doing. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is a much bigger block than I thought. Okay, so we're not close to being done, but that's okay.
Oh, you're not close to being done on that particular block. Is that what you mean?
So it starts off here. I've done this, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's done. But then there's like page 2.
Oh, page 2. Yeah.
Yeah, so this might not be done. I might not get it done during live. Who knows? Okay, good morning, Catherine. She says, hey, the guy who says happy Vlogmas. Thank you. It's good to see you as well. Okay, it's Stephanie. See you tonight. Okay, so Joyce is going to join us. It'll be fun to see everybody. Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. Okay, so I talked about the retreat. Yes, we had a lot of fun hanging out. Let me know if you've ever been to a retreat. I did not get as much work done as I thought. This was my first retreat, and I halfway expected this to happen, but I spent a lot more time socializing and chatting than I did sewing, which was it wasn't a bad thing, because what happened was I made a big boo-boo, and I was working on a present for them. I made bulk hoses for each of the members because I thought it'd just be a nice little touch to give to them. And I was using a different foot for sewing that, because I have a guide on my 1/4 inch foot that you see now, and I forgot to change it out. So I was using this one. Yeah, it's your regular old foot instead of the one with the guide. And I thought, okay, well, I'll just go ahead and piece with it. The 1/4 inch should be the same. It wasn't. So I actually had to rip out quite a bit of the work that I did up there, because it was about 1/2 inch too short, and I couldn't fix it. I couldn't stretch it or coerce it into behaving itself. Thankfully, the sunflower itself, the top of it, I was able to finagle, but the bottom part with the leaves and that I did have to rip out and redo, unfortunately. But lesson learned: always make sure you have the right foot on your machine before you take it to retreat. That is my advice to you.
Well, that's good advice.
It is, yeah. I got up there and I was like, oh no, and I'm 100 miles from home. Now, Gloria did offer to go home and get me the correct foot, but I was like, no, I think it'll be okay. But I know for next time, I'm definitely going to make sure that I have the right feet on my. I made sure I had the thread. I made sure I had the bobbins. I had everything else. I just didn't change out the foot. But live and learn. Bonjour to Nadine. She says, bonjour, Sean, and everybody from sunny south of France. It is good to have you with us. It's always good to see you, Nadine. I've been wondering how you are, because I haven't seen you in a while. So thank you for hanging out with us. It's always good to have you here with us as well. My French is terrible, but it is a language I'm actually actively trying to learn slowly, because with my day job, I do deal with a lot of customers in Quebec, and I'd love to be able to speak their native language. At some point in the future, probably be 10 years from now, but that is a long-term goal for me, to be able to speak a second language, because my exchange students come over here and they speak 2, 3, 4, 5 languages, which absolutely amazes me. I can barely speak one. As you tell every Saturday morning, sometimes I really struggle with the English language. Okay, Janine says her first retreat was last June with Donna, handmade by Ying. It was a blast, so much fun, very productive, and wonderful meeting new quilty friends. Can't wait for next June. That is awesome. Yeah, if you've been to a retreat, let us know, and I'd love to hear, was it productive, or did you spend more time socializing like I did? I'd love to know. I mean, I think it's great doing both. I'd just be very curious to hear which way it worked out for you as well. So,
well, I know for me, if I went to a retreat, I would just talk the whole time. I would, and I do this. So while I'm doing this, I can't do anything down here.
Yeah.
I would say I have to sit on my hands. If you don't want me to talk, I should have to sit on my hands, because once those hands get going, my mouth's going.
Yeah, and it's great. I really, think it's a wonderful thing. If you ever get a chance to go to a retreat, whether it's virtual or in person, I think you should. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I guess I was a little surprised that I didn't get as much. I thought I'd be more productive. Like I actually took 3 projects up there. I took the sunflower, I took the panda, and then I took the Mad Hatter as well, because I was like, I don't know how much I'm going to get done. Like I always like to over prepare. I don't want to go up there with 2 hours worth of work and then sit and twiddle my thumbs for 4 hours, because I didn't know what to expect. So yeah, but yeah, I did a lot. I loved it. I would definitely go again. They meet about once a month, and I'll definitely go up there again sometime next year and hang out with them again. It was a lot of fun. It was a nice little day trip. I just got up and drove up there. It was like an hour and a half, and then came home. So there we go.
Yeah, that's nice. And not too far, and a nice ride too. So
yeah, no, for sure. All right. So yeah, speaking of virtual retreats, Shannon and Stephanie do have one, I think next month it is. I think it's like don't quote me on the day. Shannon can put it in the chat for me. But they're having a virtual retreat. I think it's $20. And they're going to be doing some fun projects as well. So if you're interested in that, definitely reach out to Stephanie or Shannon. They'll be able to give you more information on that. So, okay. Yeah, and everybody goes to retreat, comes back and says they love it. So if you're ever able to do it, yeah, definitely jump into it and give it a go. Okay, so that's the bottom and the middle. Okay. So when you come to my lives, you will not see a polished production. You just see the real Sean. Like I sit here and talk to myself all day long, whether I'm at work, whether I'm sewing, anything else like that. If you're looking for a perfect production, I'm sorry you have not found the right place. I wish you luck. And I hope you find what you're looking for. But yeah, this is just how I am. Sometimes I roll out of bed late and show up 22 minutes late. Well, I've only done it once. Sometimes my coffee's kicked in and I'm actually somewhat functional. And sometimes you have today, which I'm on time, but I don't know what I'm doing. I was up until midnight last night because we dropped off Lorenzo. He went up to New York City this morning with some of the other exchange students. So he's going to hang out in the city today and see New York for the first time. Simon stayed with us today because he's been to New York City before, and he wasn't real interested in going back again because you're sitting on a bus overnight, running around the city all day, and then sitting on a bus the next night. It's a lot. That's why I didn't go, because I'm getting too old for that stuff.
yeah.
Good morning, Naomi. It is good to see you. I'm always happy to see you here in the chat. I don't think I've seen you on a live in a while, but it's always good to hear from you. So good morning, Mary G. Good morning. And if I've missed anyone, which I'm sure I have, I do apologize in advance. It is not intentional. I just get distracted. I'm trying to sew, chat, watch everything else as well. Oh, look at this. I've even got the points somewhat right.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, these come together super nicely, and it's a fun project. It's beginner friendly, and I love that the thing I really enjoy about this is that I can just unpack it and sew. I don't have to sit there and cut a ton of pieces before I start. Now, I love my Wizard of Oz, my Alice in Wonderland, my Fab Farm, that sort of thing there. I really do enjoy that because I like the challenge of it. But that does take some time. Like, I don't rush my cutting. I just sit there and do it. But it can sometimes take me 2, 3, 4 hours. By the time I sit there and watch a video in the middle of it and get distracted and let the dogs out 50 times and all that sort of mess there. Whereas this, I just rip it out, out of the package, read the instructions, and then just get going. So it's nice to have that simpler project.
Yeah.
So people are filtering in as time goes on because we do start rather early in the morning. I would love to know, might be fun for you to tell us a little bit more, April, for people that may not know about your channel, what would they expect when they go over? I know you mentioned it briefly at the beginning, but let's, for anyone that's hopping in later on, what would they expect if they come over and visit you?
Sure. So basically my channel I do very simple projects and I do a variety. So I'll do quilts. They're very easy quilts. I'll do, I might be painting on a quilt top. I could be doing, uh, I'll go improv. I do improv mostly. I don't do patterns. I work with a lot of recyclable fabric which are just old clothes, old blankets. My neighbor's always bringing me down old pieces of stuff. So I love doing that. And sometimes I'll just go to yard sales and find fabric, and my kids help me find fabric. Now, I am also like everybody else, though. I shop for fabric. So it, my husband said to me the other day that since I'm one of the closets, maybe I have a little bit too much. So it was just so funny because he's like, when was the last time you took anything off that shelf? And it was like, yeah, it's been a long time. Because I just have so much, and in every other, I have my scraps. I love working with scraps. My channel is a lot about scrap fabric too. I just like doing scrappy quilts. That's my absolute favorite. So they're scrappy, improv, and my favorite is to work with the recyclable clothes. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. But I just I'll show you how to fix things if you need to put a zipper in, or if you need to know how to put hem pants. I know how to do, I can show you how to do all that on my channel. I have tutorials out on that. I do a lot of step-by-step tutorials, so I take you straight through the whole process. So they're a little bit long. I'm trying to shorten them a little bit, but it's hard to go step by step and show you every step. So, so if people are searching for how to fix my hat, I can show you how to fix your hat, like things like that. So I have a big variety. I'm not just a quilts channel. And that's why I did choose the name Sew and Quilt, because I wanted to be able to people to see that it's a little bit of sewing, a little bit of quilting. If I could add something into my channel, it would be like, don't you feel like we're always so unorganized? Like, I feel like we constantly organize, but it's like, geez, that should be a whole channel too. Just maybe I'm going to add. I actually did start a video on that one day, just like, maybe I'll just show how I did this or how I did that. But so it's just,
sorry.
No, that's okay. It's just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, definitely check it out. I put her link in the description. In the description. It is in the description, so that is true. I also just put it into the chat. What I was going to say, because if I don't say stuff when I think about it, it goes, and then you never hear it. And I need to be more careful about that. It's leaving. Come back. Oh yeah, the organization thing. I think if you did, like, you could do a channel on that, or you could do videos on that. It'll be wildly successful if you did it right. Like, no joke, no kidding. I think, because we all struggle with that. Like, what you look at my setup right now, and it looks cleanish, organized-ish. But if you twisted the camera this way or this way, you'd see an absolutely horrendous mess. And I know I'm not alone with that, and I own it. I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, look, I'm perfect, because that's definitely not the truth. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I enjoy working with scraps and that sort of thing there. I think, anyone that's watched for the last little while, most of my projects that I've been doing recently have been not necessarily scrappy quilts, but I've been shopping from stash. Like, I'm pulling the solids and the other fabrics from my current stash. I'm trying not to have to buy more fabric unless I have to. Like, I love supporting my local quilt shops, but if I have a nice stash of fabric, and I'd like to use that as well. Now, you also made me chuckle a little bit when you said your husband about the closet and that sort of thing there. My wife started knitting about 12 months before I started sewing, and she has her own channel as well. She's doing Vlogmas. If you're interested in knitting, definitely check her out. Her channel name is Dog Mom Knits, and I think I have it in as Dog Mom. you'll be able to see quite a bit of. She's doing some unboxings of this. She bought this most beautiful advent from a lady in the UK, and it's all these different yarns in ice cream flavors, and we're actually having like a guessing game. Like we got to see that we see the yarn each day, and we have to guess what the flavor is called. And so far, it's Simon won, Lorenzo won, and Sean zip. So it was this beautiful like red. It looked like strawberries. To me, it was either strawberry or cherry, and I thought strawberry would be too obvious, so it was cherry, but yeah, I was wrong. Anyway, so but yeah, she started knitting about 12 months before I started sewing, and then I started quilting, and she's like, oh, thank goodness, because now you can't give me any grief about how much yarn I have, because look at your fabric stash. So be careful if you have a crafting spouse, because they can use that against you.
Yeah. My husband has tools. He has every tool for every single thing. So I do make a joke sometimes and say, yeah, like, so my fabric was this much money. How much was that one little tool you're going to go put on the shelf and probably never use it?
Yeah. Thankfully, the tools. Oh, I've missed this. No, I haven't. Yes, I have. Oh, son of a biscuit. Yep. Okay, so I've messed this up. So if you're following along and your first part of the block looks like this, it is not right. This is supposed to be here. So with that, I am putting this away, because sometimes the best thing to do is just give up, put it away for a while, and come back to it later. So we'll put that away. I hope you enjoyed watching that, even though I missed. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I do it live, but I tend to make a mistake at least once per clue. But that's okay. You know, it proves that I'm human, and it proves that it's okay to make mistakes. So, you know, I'm not going to beat myself up for it. I'll pull out my very, very bestest friend later on, and you'll see that completed project in a little bit. Hopefully tomorrow. All right. So now that that's gone, we'll now bring up project number 2. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. You think I'd come out more organized? Okay, so last week I had my friends Becca and Ian hang out with me, and we worked on the pandas. And as you can see, this is how it looked last week, and that's how they remain. I have not done any more work on these yet, but we will now. Okay. All right, so Fallon says same thing happened to her recently. Donnell is asking, have I ever had my wife on my morning live as a guest? That would be a lot of fun to watch. She likes to sleep in on a Saturday morning. We may get her on the channel at some point, but I think more than likely, I think it'd be more likely that we would have her on as a evening live. We just have to try and find a time of year where she's not super busy, because right now, with school and Vlogmas and everything else, for her, it's not really but yeah, I've had a few requests for her, and hopefully we can work something out where we can have her. I actually talked to Lorenzo as well, because people have asked to have him on in the morning, and I asked him the other day, I said, hey, look, would you mind coming on as a guest? And he's like, what time? I said 8 a.m. and he's like, no. He says, evening I can do. I was like, okay, we might have to do an evening live one time. So keep an eye out for that. Maybe the 3 of us can come on, and, she can knit and I can sew and he can sew. And I don't know, we'll work something out, but I don't know when. So stay tuned. We'll get that organized as well. So Dragonflies Adonis says pandas. Dawn from my core projects hopped in a little bit early. She says she's just in lurking. I forgot to say it. See, I told you, it goes in one ear and it goes flying out, and then that's just the end of it. So I do see stuff and then I just forget. So
I just had that conversation yesterday with somebody about it just does. It's like squirrel. If you totally concentrating on something and then whoops happens. I'm very good at that too.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not alone. Like I feel like I'm the only person that does that. And then I talk to other people and they're the same sort of thing there as well. Fallon is saying here, it'd be fun if she taught you how to knit and I teach her how to sew. I actually tried teaching her how to sew once, and she I teach everybody on the Benina, because the Benina has a speed setting on it, so that way, like if you're starting to sew, you can put the pedal down to the floor, and it only goes, but so fast. So for me, I think it's easy to teach on that. For me, this one here, I love this machine dearly. I love piecing on it, but the foot pedal, unless you're used to it, can be a little bit finicky. Like if you touch it a little too hard, it'll fly along at 100 miles an hour. So yeah, she's tried sewing and she just said it's not for her. But her trying to teach me how to knit, that would be a fun idea. So watch this space. Maybe that's something we can do. Yeah, that might be a really good idea. So we'll see how that works. So all right, let's see. Donnell says my hubby gets upset when I have to wake him before 10 a.m. to take me to my craft shows to set up. So there you go. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I do my Saturday morning lives is because everyone likes to sleep in, so I can get it in, I can get it done, and then everybody wakes up and goes about their day. So there you go. Pedal to the metal. Words are hard. Yeah, I'm having struggles. The words are hard today. I really am. So
I'm just the opposite. No, sorry.
It's fine. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, we keep it real here. So all right. So let's see if we can make some hands. All right, I need X's and O's. Oh, there's some X's. And none of my X's live in Texas.
I had to take my mother-in-law somewhere yesterday, I think. And she said, give me a wake-up call at 7:30 because she just cannot get up in the morning. She can't start anything until after at least 10. And I am a real early bird. I'm up, I watch the sun come up every single day. So anyhow, she texts me at 7:30 and she said, I'm up. I'm like, I forgot to give her a wake up call. So that was pretty funny. Like, oh, sorry. Good thing you woke up. I'd have been there to get you and you would have been still sleeping.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
Even as a child, I was such an early, my friends would all be up and I'd be still sleeping. I mean, I'd be up and they'd be still sleeping. It's like, well, they hurry up and get up. I want to play or whatever. Because I was such an early bird. But I like to go to bed early. So that it has its pros and cons.
Oh,
when everyone's ready to do something and it's 5 and I'm like, I need to go to sleep.
Yeah. All right. Lisette says, good morning. I'm at BJ's listening in. Thank you for these chats and sew sessions. Okay. That is awesome. Thank you for joining us, Lisette. I love hearing where we end up. And so that's going to bring out another question. I think Donnell took us to Joanne's, a week or two ago. Who else has taken our live to a store? And if so, which one? I would love to hear. Have we been to Walmart? Have we been to Target? Have we been to Missouri Star Quilt Company? Where have we been? Like, I would love to know. This is going to be a really fun question to answer. Okay, so thank you very much. Okay. X. All right. See, one of these days I'm going to get smart, and I say this every week, and do something simple. But today's not that day.
Not today.
And it won't be next week. It'll be never. I will never ever learn.
It just sounds good. It just sounds good.
It just sounds good. But you all like to see me do. You all like to see me do different things. So it is what it is. It's all good. Okay, let's see. Yes, it was last week when you had Becca and Ian on your live stream. Okay, that's what I thought because it was like the week before. I think Donnell was on with me after we had to change things up a little bit because of audio issues over on Brandy's side. Because Brandy was going to join me 2 weeks ago. I think was it 2 weeks ago? I think so. Oh, okay. It says that Joanne's is the next stop, so we might end up in Joanne's again. So, hey, if we end up in Joanne's enough, maybe they'll give me some sort of sponsorship deal or something. Who knows? That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be real good.
We will see. You never know where things will lead you. All right. Okay, so Melissa says she's taken us to Home Depot, Target, Barnes and Noble, and a 10K trail run. Oh, geez, we've been running. How about that? Like that's awesome. Yeah, that's really neat. Yeah, so I've been, I know I'm being broadcast to at least 3 continents. Actually, no, almost maybe 4.
Wow.
Yeah, Australia, Europe, North America, and then I had someone on Instagram start following me from India. So I'm assuming they're watching the channel. I would love to hear if someone from Asia is watching. That would be really, really neat. And then if you're from Africa or South America, watching, that'd be good too. And if you are in one of the Antarctic stations watching, please let me know. I would love to hear. That'd be really neat to hear someone's watching you from Antarctica, because it's possible. There's not many, it is getting close to summertime down there, so there'll be more people down there. So our chances are better. I think it's pretty remote. Chance that someone down there is watching us from Antarctica. But if they are, please let me know in an email or in the chat or a comment. That would be really, really, really neat. So there we go. Okay, Dragonfly Adonis says you're always in my computer room, but hubby and dog likes to pop in and watch. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, Janine says she's brought me along many times when I'm driving my hubby around. He is a garage sale hunter. I thought you'd want to hang back and let your husband drive on the weekend, since you drive for a living. I think I'd take that as a day off. Okay, so we've got those 2 done. We'll make some progress today. So there we go. Yeah, this is really neat to hear where I end up. Okay. What did my I've taken the live to the bathroom. Okay, well, I figured that was coming. What have I done here?
I think I told you before about the memory quilt. I've talked to you before about that. That I did end up buying the stuff you had mentioned to go on the back of it. I did order that. I still haven't got the memory part done. I haven't done anything with it, but I'm gonna still do that. I think we talked about that maybe last time.
The interfacing, you mean?
Yes, I did buy
Yes.
that. And I bought the
good.
big roll. Yeah, so
Yeah, I have 2 of those.
I'll watch your video and I'm gonna make that.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. And if you have any questions, just reach out, just like anyone else. If you have a question, reach out. I will get back to you as soon as I physically can. But yeah, that interfacing is great, especially for the t-shirt quilts and that sort of thing there, because it just makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
And you can buy a whole bolt of that stuff for like $28-$30. I think like 48 yards of it's like, if you buy it on sale, it's pretty cheap. So I usually buy, when I get down to when I start opening my second last roll of it, I go ahead and buy one more, because I got caught out during COVID when everybody was using it for masks, and I'm not having that happen again.
Yeah.
Good morning, Jean. It's good to see you. She says hi. It's always good to see everybody pop in. Dawn is saying she has clothing to do alterations, and I don't want to. I have procrastinated from. Yeah, I'm the same way. I am not a fan of doing alterations. I try and avoid it like the plague. I do basic stuff for Amanda sometimes, like if she needs something hemmed or belt loops put on her pants, I will do that. But that's about as far as it is. If someone else asks me to do it for them, sorry, I am not your person. I hate saying no to people, but that is something I'll happily say no to.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, people that can do alterations, that's who you need to go to, because yeah, it might cost you a little bit, but they can do a whole lot better job than I am. Like I can do basic stuff, but that's about it. And I really don't have the desire to do anything more.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I can do the basic stuff, but if it's anything too detailed, I can't do it. And I do it a lot for a lot of people. Send me their stuff and I'll take care of it for them if it's basic, but that's it.
Yeah, like a busted seam, I'll put that back there. I think each of our kids have brought me at least one piece of clothing. They're like, hey, this seam's busted, can you fix it? Yeah. Sure, no problem. That's 2 minutes, it's done. But yeah, if you want me to take it in or let it out or that sort of thing there, yeah, I'm not going to do it I like to do everything with excellence, or as least close to it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I want to do it with excellence. I just don't have the skill set for that. And yeah, I'd rather just say, yeah, I'd rather just say no, please.
Right. There's a professional out there that's what they know how to do.
Yeah.
Let's to them if it's too much, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because if I try and alter your clothes and try and bring it in, I tried it once on something and I think it was a pair of pajama pants. Amanda's like, can you bring it in like an inch or two? And it had like elastic in it and all this sort of stuff. And I tried, I tried it and I butchered it. It was horrible. I think we ended up having to throw them out. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, that's it. I'm done. I'm never doing this again. Like maybe
Same.
I will never say, well, I shouldn't say never, because who knows? Maybe in 5 years you'll come back and I'll be, all into alterations and clothing and everything else in addition to quilting. But at this point in time, no.
And I think too, like we have to think about like how long is this really going to take me to research one, how to do it, two,
Mhm.
get the stuff to do it, and how much was the object to begin with. So
Yeah.
that's where I kind of am at. Like, okay, the other day I was doing a bunch of I had to fix a lot of things, and it happened. I had a couple of bathing suits from the kiddos, and then I thought, oh, I can take care of that easy. And then I'm like, this bathing suit probably costs $12. I'm
Right.
going to save from 6 hours just trying to figure out how to do it. Go to the store, get a zipper, and then I'm like, I just can't do this. So I'm not interested enough to. I've decided that on things that I'm not interested enough to know how to do,
Yeah.
just don't do it. Just don't do
Yeah.
it.
Do what you
Oh,
love, because otherwise it becomes a chore.
mhm.
That's and I admire those that can do alterations. I admire those that do clothing. Like I love seeing what people can do with it. It's just not something I want to do. So I'm gonna sit there and live vicariously through them
Yeah,
and just let them take care of it. Okay, let's see. What have I Okay, Donnell says she can do hems, changing a crew neck to V-neck and taking shirts in. Okay, so she's better off than I am. And replace zippers in coats. Um, I could probably replace a zipper if I had to, but I drag. Okay, now Donna's saying here that she can then do an entire shirt in 30 seconds. It's called a credit card. Okay, see, she might be onto something right there. There you go. All right. So Donnell says, I love knowing I can challenge myself as well as save something from the garage that someone wants. Absolutely. I mean, if you're able to do it, I think it's great. But yeah, I don't think you I think what our point is that if it doesn't give you joy or it's going to take longer than it's worth, maybe it's better off saying it's. I think we're all too eager to say yes to try and help people out, but sometimes it's better just to say, hey, no, please find someone that is better, has a better skill set than I do. I've had people bring me quilts for repairs, and they'll ask me about, like, can you repair this? And my answer is always, I want to see it first.
yeah, that's a good answer. That's a good way to
Yeah, I'm not
respond.
saying no. I'm not saying yes. I want to see it first. I want to see what is wrong with it and what is involved to repair it. If I
Mhm.
feel confident that I can do it, I'll happily help you out. But I'm not going to do something and destroy something if it's outside of my skill set. I
Yeah,
think I think we all need to be able to say no, or just be comfortable saying no if it's not something we're comfortable doing. Don't just do it just to be not. Yeah, if that makes sense. I mean, I hope I'm not sounding mean or nasty or anything like that. I'm just, yeah, that's me today.
I saw this thing on TikTok or on YouTube Shorts the other day, and
Uh,
this isn't sewing related, but they were making Chex Mix, a party Chex Mix, and they were making a huge container of it. And I thought to myself, oh, because I'm always like, somebody just mentioned, I think it was Donnell. I think it was Donnell that said this. If it wasn't, I'm sorry, I can't remember who said this just a minute ago. But when I thought I can do it, because I can make anything out of, I can make something out of anything, is how I always feel. Oh, I can do that. So
Yeah.
this recipe was you'd pour all these cereals in the box and you had to make it and bake it for a long time and batch it up and make gifts out of it. And then I thought, oh, I can do that. Like my brain just says, yes, you can do that. That would be fun. Of course, I would rather be sewing. Like
Yeah.
there's a professional that made that Chex Mix. I could go to the store and buy this Chex Mix with a perfect recipe. The recipe is like to perfection, right?
Yeah.
Because they mastered it. And I could spend that time, sewing or making something that I love to do. So that's why I got to try to tell myself, like, leave it to the professional for that. Do what you love. You love doing this. But I get caught up on, oh, I can do that. It's like to prove to myself that I can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah. Do what you love. That's I've mentioned that many times on my channel, and I'll say it all the time. Like, do what makes you happy. Like, let's see. Someone was saying here. I'm going to answer Mona's question in just a second.
hi, Mona.
Donnell was saying, definitely, I always tell people I have to physically see what it is before I agree to anything, unless it's for my mama. Yeah, I'm the same way. If it's for my mother-in-law, if it's for my wife, I'll do stuff I'll do stuff for her that I'll say no to everybody else, of course. But that's it. Mona is asking what sort of interfacing I use for my t-shirt quilts, and that is the Pellin P44F. It's a lightweight interfacing. You can find it at Joann's. It's normally, I think these days it's like $1.29 a yard, but you can always find a coupon for like 30 or 40 or 50% off. I usually wait till it's 50% off or have a coupon for it. And then I just buy the whole bolt at once. It's 48 yards. I mean, for about $30 with tax, you can have a whole bolt of it and it'll keep you going forever. And it works out really, really well. As well, it's iron on. It's super easy to use. I have a tutorial on that for the t-shirt. I think that's what I was going to tell you. With my tutorials, I try and keep mine, fairly short. And if I'm doing a long project where I can't squeeze it into like 5 or 6 minutes, I'll just break it up into parts as well. And I think that's worked well for me. I mean, the viewers have to tell me, of course, because what I think and what's the truth are sometimes two different things. But yeah, I like to break mine up into smaller parts. So that way, if someone's looking for a particular section with assistance, they're not having to watch a 30-minute video. They can just duck in and see what they need to do and keep moving. So that's my viewpoint. I could be wrong. That's okay.
No idea. I mean, to keep it shorter than longer, I think.
Yeah, because I think with I was going to do like the quilting and binding in one video, and I was putting it all together, and it was going to be like 15 minutes. I'm like, nah, okay, it's going in. This is going to be parts 5 and 6, or 4 and 5, or whatever it is. Okay, someone else is going to have to answer this question for me. I don't know if you can, but Donnell is asking. She says she wants to make herself some jogging pants. What is the best material to use for that?
So I've never made those. So I'm not really sure. I've made just pajama pants, and I do that out of flannel, but I've never made jogging pants.
Yeah. Someone in the chat might be able to tell us, but my advice too is if you trust your quilt shop, go in and ask someone there as well, because the people that work there should know the materials pretty well, and they might be able to advise what to use as well. I have no experience in that. I think you'd probably want to have something with a little bit of like latex or elastic or something, that sort of thing there, so it has a little bit of stretch, especially as you move. But as to what whether it's lycra or what you actually need, I'm not the right person to tell you that as well. So let's see. All right, Ginny says my t-shirt tutorial is excellent. Well, thank you so much for that. I really enjoyed putting that together, and I hope it is informative and helpful for people, because it's one of the things I enjoy making. And I'm glad that people are finding that useful. That was a project that took me, I think like 6 months to put together, because I mean, I'd put one part of it together and then I get distracted and do something else and come back. So It's just, yeah, one of those things. Good morning, Miss Joyce. It is good to see you as well. We're working on, I started off with Clue 5 of the Puzzle Mystery Quilt, the Carnival, but I goofed it up, so I put it away. It's in the sin bin right now. I'll pull it out later on. So now I'm working on the hands for the panda. And good morning, Stephanie. It's good to see you. I think Stephanie's doing Vlogmas as well. I could be wrong on that. Yes, and that's a good point. Margie says, I bet there's a YouTube video making jogging pants, and that is an excellent point. I should have thought of that myself. So yeah, definitely check out some tutorials on that, because that's a good way to do it as well. Sorry, go ahead.
I haven't done a lot with clothes other than just fix them, or I can make like pajama pants and put things on t-shirts and stuff, but that's as far as I've gone really with clothes. Put, make the pants have wider legs and things like that, like altering them.
Right.
Not an actual full-blown. I have lots of patterns though for some really fun tops, and I haven't used them.
That's all right.
I will though.
One day you'll get the bug. And all right, so I think we might put this together real quick, and then we might wrap things up. Okay, Joyce says she's doing the Tree of Life Puzzle Mystery Quilt. That is awesome. Who else has signed up for that? I'd love to hear who else has signed up for it, and if so, which colorway did you choose? You may have seen my shorts or my community post I put out earlier this week. I will be an ambassador for Cotton Cuts again this year, which I am super excited about, and I will be doing what they call Purple Mist, which is the purple and green and blue type color batiks. So that should be a lot of fun. Oh, there it is. Okay. I thought I lost my fabric. Going this way. Okay. All right. Nadine is doing the Tree of Life Puzzle Mystery Quilt as well. And that's the beautiful thing with this Puzzle Mystery Quilt too, is if you are international, you're in Canada, you're in France, you're in the UK, Australia, New Zealand, no matter where, if you prepay for it, the shipping is on Cotton Cuts. There is no additional charge if you prepay for the whole thing if you live internationally. I have not heard of another company that offers free international shipping for these sort of projects. So if you think that the shipping is going to be the reason that stops you, thankfully it's not. I mean, yes, you have to fork out the whole kit in one go, like you can't do the month-to-month thing. But it's an awesome thing. I don't think they advertise that heavily enough. But I try and mention it as often as I can, because I used to live out of the country and I understand how expensive international shipping is. So, all right. So Donnell is doing a small Purple mist as well. I think I'm doing this. They didn't tell me if I'm doing a small or the large. I'm assuming it's a small. That's what I've done the last couple of times. I'm assuming it's the same. I like doing the small. It's a lot of fun. So there we go. Okay, Pamela says the most empowering thing I've ever done for myself was learn to say no. It seems like every single day someone has something they needed me to do. Saying no is so empowering. I agree. Yeah, it's great to say yes. It's great to help out where you can, but it's also important to be able to say no and look after yourself, because sometimes saying no is the best choice. Jeannie says, I'm doing a Tree of Life too. I forget what colorway I selected. That's okay. Nadine says she chose Green Meadow Imperial Hanukkah Japanese Metallic for Robin Kaufman. That one looks beautiful. I'm really interested to see how that one turns out. That'll be a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll get to see some of those come out. They'll start in February. And then Rob and Quilting in the Man Cave says he got the Autumn Shades and Small. That one sold out super quick as well. So I'm very interested to see how everybody how all these different colorways turn out, because it's the same pattern, but how they all turn out these different colors is just absolutely amazing. So it's gonna be a lot of fun if you're able to join in. And I understand that for some people it's just not in their budget, or they just have way too many projects going on at once, and that's perfectly okay. But if you want to jump in and hang out with us, that would be a lot of fun as well. So I have put the link in. I think it worked as well, if anyone is interested. And if you use the link that I put there, I will get a small commission as well. They started with the ambassadors this time around that we will get a small commission from any sales that we direct to them. So that's a nice little bonus for us. It helps support the channel a little bit. But I never want anyone to feel obligated to purchase anything either. You know, I'm here because I love sewing, I love quilting. Yeah, I love supporting cotton cuts as well, but I don't. Am I making any sense?
Mhm.
I
You
should
are.
probably just be. I should probably be quiet now before I get too confused.
Mona, so on my, I see that you love using your serger, so for sewing clothes. So that's how I made all the pajama pants through the years is the serger. And yes, it is so easy on the serger. It's fast. So I agree with you on that. I love using that too for that. Well, I got a nice little pile going. I got something accomplished.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm making progress too. It's just I get distracted easily.
Me too.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So we'll probably wrap this up in a few minutes because I know a lot of us have a lot of stuff to do today. I have to run out and do some errands today and then be back here by 5. So it's never a dull moment in this place. Please tell me I'm doing this right. Yes. Okay. Thank goodness for that. I'm so confused. Oh, okay. I see now what it is now. Okay. Good morning, Becca. It is good to see you. She says, good morning. Wanted to stop by and say hi before I head out and get started for the day. It's always good to see my friend Becca. If you haven't seen her channel, definitely head over and check her out. It is exclamation point Becca. I'll just throw that in the chat real quick. And if you have a channel and I have not mentioned it or put the link in yet, let me know real quick so I can go ahead and do that before we say goodbye as well. So, okay, yeah, thank you for that, Becca. I've realized that I'll fix that bot once we're done here as well. Judy Herbert says good morning as well. It's good to see you. Thank you for hanging out with us. We're getting ready to say goodbye in just a few minutes, but yeah, the replay is always available as well. As you'll be able to see. You'll be able to see what you missed and all the hot mess that I am this morning as well. Okay. She says Pat says I'm right. I thought the shipping was charged on the cotton cuts orders. It's good to know. Yeah, I just think it's amazing that they do that. You know, I read that once and I was like, is that true? And I think I ended up asking Kim about it, who's the owner and founder of the company. She's like, yep, that's what we do. And so I just think it's amazing. So that way my friends in Australia and Canada and France and that sort of thing there are still able to participate because it gets expensive. So I don't know how they manage to do it and make a profit, but they've worked it out. So I mean, I think it's very nice of them to do. All right, everyone's saying good morning to Becca. It's always good to see her. Yeah, definitely check out Becca's channel if you haven't done so already. And we're actually, it's fun that she popped in because I'm actually working on the pandas that her and I are doing together. So, see, we're making a little bit of progress. This is going to be like the little, the hands, and once I put the other side on, it will sit. Let's put my fat fingers out of the way. It'll sit there like that, if that makes sense. Oh, that's a good question. Okay, Donnell is asking, are you going to buy any bubble wrap for a guest today? Have to mess with Ian. Yeah, poor Ian. He just likes, for whatever reason, tends to fall every time they go live. So, I don't know. He's a mess. But we all love him. All right, so let's see. We've got everybody there. Okay, that's so cute. Thank you very much. Good morning, Joyce. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap things up. Do you have anything fun going on your channel in the near future that you'd like to tell our sort of viewers about?
So the next, well, all I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to get caught up on some of the quilts that I've already made. So I will be showing some of them. I'm going to be using my long arm. I don't use my long arm very often, but I will probably do a few little videos because I'm just new to the pantograph part.
Yeah.
I actually haven't used that part of my long arm yet, so I've always go free. I just do freehand, free motion. So in the near future, I'm gonna have a couple of videos out of just me just starting with the long arm and in the pantograph part. So I'm excited for that because I've never done it, and it will be so even, and it'll be totally different from anything I've ever done. So
Yeah,
that's
that'd be
coming
fun.
up. And then I just want to really focus on lots and lots of quilts and scrap quilts and colorful quilts. So that's my plan.
Excellent. Yeah, so definitely check out April's channel. It's going to be !April. We'll throw it in the chat real quick so that way you can check it out. It was Joyce says, bye for now. Enjoy your day, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It was fun having you and everybody else that hung out. Mona says she has to go get roast and oven for dinner. I'll finish watching later. Okay, I'll be over later to hang out for dinner. That sounds good. Catherine says Ian is hysterically. It's been so much fun watching Ian and Becca hang out together as well. So as for me, I will be live over on Stephanie Quilting with Stephanie Stitches channel at 5 p.m. Eastern. We're going to put together the Fab Farm, which is all these wonderful little farm animals. I've shown these all before, but come over and see that quilt top getting assembled. And assuming I don't have to pull out my very, very bestest friend, I'm hoping to get that whole quilt top assembled because it's fairly small. It's 38 by 38. So it looks like there's like 12 of there's not that much to put together. So thankfully I'll get it done. So I'll have that tonight over on her channel. Tomorrow morning I'll have my next podcast, episode 101. It's be so weird saying episode 100 and X, so that'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, that's what I had planned. I'm not doing Vlogmas this year. I just, decided to sit it out and participate as a viewer. I'm really looking forward to that. But check out the 12 Days of Quiltmas that Donna and all my other friends are doing. It's going to be a lot of fun watching them. Shannon and so many others are doing Vlogmas. You got to have so much quilty goodness to look out for this month. Please support as many of those as you physically can as well. So Becca says my quilt's coming along nicely. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think it's going to look really, really nice with the yellow and the orange on these as well. So come back tomorrow morning on the podcast, and hopefully you'll get to see a little more progress on this as well. So with that, I think we'll say goodbye. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. If you're watching the replay, please say hi in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. I always love to see who is hanging out. If you're in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I always love interacting and reading your chat and responding to as many of those as I can. So have a great day. Happy sewing, and we'll see you all in the next video. Happy sewing. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.